Hello everyone and welcome to Caroline's Craftery. Today it is Scrappy time with Caroline and we are going to make some collage embellishments. I have dug out my tickets, T-cards, wax seals because I have so many of my tickets and T-cards printed out just from different projects and testing out the kits, etc. Plus some bought-in tickets and a few things from other designers. So we're for sure going to try those. In my idea, I've got my number labels, which we're going to see if they work on this project. I already have something in my mind. So got a few extra tools here. A little bit of cheesecloth. These are going to be actually very easy to do. And when I do something like this, I'll do like 50, 60 of them because normally I would put them in my shop. But these are going to be for me and my journals. So we're only going to do about 6 or so on camera, but like I say, they will be very easy. So to the left of me, I have my scrap papers. So I'm going to start just digging out some scraps. I don't care what they are. I don't really care what colors they are. Nothing in there is going to be too terribly outrageous color. So I want torn edges on all of mine. And I want to tear them into, I guess that's inch, a little over an inch. And I'm just going to tear a bunch of strips. And I guess that's about 4 inches long. You can do them any width, any length really you want. I think I'll leave that edge straight, even though I do like the torn edges. I think that will get covered up anyways with certain things. I have a thing here that I printed out and then I never used it, so and this is a good way to use up your scraps. And we all tend to have lots of scraps. I know I do. So I think once a person got going on these, I think they would go really quick. I'm going to save that one a little bit bigger. And as I say, not really any rhyme or reason on how I want to lay these out, what goes with what. Let's look for something else. This was a misprint from my lavender and lace kit, or lovely lavender. Most of this is like paperweight size of stuff. Let's try some music paper. Put one here. Okay. And I want 3 pieces per embellishment, so we'll need a few more. I'll use some more of this music paper. You definitely don't have to be careful on what you tear out, etc. Because we need one more piece to go with that third. Let's just use some more of this lavender. And if you watch some of my other episodes, you know that I really like to do things, laying the stuff out and doing the different stages. I just find it goes so much faster. So I am going to distress the edges really lightly. Not going to put too much into it. I just don't want that really white edge. And I put this lid down because then it catches all the little stuff that falls off my distress tool. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward it while I distress these. Okay, so I'm just inking out the last piece, and we've got 6 on the go here. Okay, so there's that done. Oops. Now, I've got some, this is just really cheap glue. I got it, great big huge bottle of it for like $1 at a sale or something. And it's quite runny, and I don't use it on too much, but I use it on projects like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue these 3 pieces together just by overlapping them like so. So I just want to put a bit of glue on the one edge. Let's just put down my mat so I don't get glue all over. The numbers down. That way any glue will go onto this here. And this piece, I'll put a bit of glue all over it. I'm not gonna glue it down like too much. If it doesn't stick in every place, that's okay. So that is the next step there. So just glue the 3 pieces together. It doesn't matter if they match, they line up, anything like that, because we are going to put something in the center. But this gives it kind of to that stage. These straight edges I'm going to cover up by overlapping. So this one I don't want to quite go to the end because it's longer than the bottom piece. And all these will be able to be put either way, so there's not really an up or down or anything to these. Not until you put the center part on. And sometimes the center piece might get covered up depending on what you're going to put on it. So let me fast forward it while I glue these last 4 together. Okay, just gluing down the last piece. And why I do 3 on each, I have no idea. Seemed like a good number at the time. And it makes the collage, I think, a little bit sturdier because you've got 3 sheets of paper, so by the time the glue dries, it's fairly good. Okay, so now we get to pick out what we want to put on all these. Let's just move that aside and bring these in where you can see them a little better. So I'm going to pick out the focal point of each by either picking out a ticket or maybe a label, maybe both, who knows. Oh, fit on there. And as I say, you can see how the middle piece is going to pretty much get covered up. But I think it gives that a little bit of strength. So let's try. These are my butterfly and dragonfly domino size things. Let's try one of the labels on one of them. Should have some bigger ones in here. Not sure that's quite big enough. No, maybe these won't be big enough for... That one looks okay. Let's try that one. Okay. So I want to add something underneath them, so I'm going to go with a piece of cheesecloth. So let's just going to add a piece to each of those. I do want to add a few dimensions of things on here. I'd like to put, you know, 3 to 5 layers of goodies on my embellishments now. I never used to. But the more dimension character, it's kind of nice. So there is that. Now that's pretty much what I'm going to put on it, I think. I might come and add some little numbers and labels, because that's going to kind of go like that. So a little number thing off to the side, or just tucked underneath or something might look good. Yeah, I like that actually. So let's see, pull out some other ones. I think that one might be too big, but let's try it. We'll figure out where to put it on that one. Oh, there's another tiny one. Let's put it with that one. That one can go there. As you can see, I'm not being really picky on where they go. There, we'll figure those out. And I find I do better if I just get them on there and not think about it. The longer I think about it, the harder it becomes to do it. Okay, so now we can start gluing. I'll get my art glitter glue. Need a little bit better glue than that other stuff. So that's going to go there. Then I think I'll do this one this way. And then that can pop right on like that. Okay. I don't usually have too much trouble with my art glitter glue not coming out of the bottle. So as you can see, that middle piece You don't really get to see that, but it adds a little bit of strength. Oh, hold on. Let's distress all these tickets and whatnot before we get too sidetracked. I really have trouble not distressing things. I like the look. I think some of the tickets are already done. I don't like those white edges on the items. Like, you probably can't even see that on camera, but it's just, we all have those little things that bother us, I guess, and that is one of mine, is seeing that little bit of white, even though sometimes it's not very much. Okay, and I find this distressing, doesn't take long, and I actually find it relaxing. Kind of strange to find something like that relaxing, but to each their own. Same as I actually like fussy cutting too. I have a scan and cut, and I don't use it very much because I like fussy cutting. And plus the scan and cut, I need too much room. I don't have room on my desk for it. Okay, now let's finish what we were doing here. Okay, so let's, oh, don't want to put glue on this end. And nothing too fancy on putting these pieces down, just kind of putting them in the middle. And then these you can just glue down wherever you want, and you've got a decoration. You can turn them into paper clips again. And it's all about using up the scraps. So I'm going to probably put stitching on these. I kind of decide that at the end. And I always take that extra moment to make sure that it's glued down. You could use any glue for this. Fabri-Tac would work good too. I do like the art glitter glue for things like this. Okay. I think I'll put that number tag on the bottom. So it's at this point that they become directional on whether they're for up and down or sideways or and I'm not too worried if it's really straight on there. When I started junk journaling, everything had to be straight and even, but now I realize it actually looks better when it's off a bit. So there's another one. So I'm just going to keep going like that. I think I'm going to put that one off to the side a little bit. Whoops. Quick and easy these are. Okay. I'm just going to fast forward it while I finish gluing these other 3 things. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just gluing down the last piece on these. I'm liking how they're turning out. I'm liking the little number labels on there. And everybody seems to be using them these days, so this is actually the first time I'm using numbers and labels. My number and label kits are fairly new in the shop. So here we have the 5 things. We've got a couple going one way, and even this one could go this way, or it could go that way. A lot of them could really. I don't think it's vital which way they're going. So now from here we need to decide on what else we're going to do. I'm definitely going to do some stitching, and I might add some brads and stuff just because I have so many of them and I'm really working hard at cleaning up my stuff and trying to use up stuff that I've had for quite a while. So I'm just going to push those out of the way, and I am going to stitch mine by hand just because I like to. I love sitting in the evening hand stitching and watching YouTube and just seeing what everybody is up to. So I need to decide how I want to stitch it. I'm not going to be too picky, and I'm just going to go down the center somehow, and I will do a zigzag on them. So I've got my little piercing mat from Stamping Up, which I love. If you want a hand stitch and you don't have one of these, just do a little piece of cardboard and put the holes in. Or just freehand it and just put your holes in and do it. I use a cork with a sewing needle in it for this part because I like my holes small. And this way the holes don't get too big. But I can be a little picky sometimes. Yes, the hand stitching takes a lot more work, but I find it relaxing. So I don't know if you can see the holes. You can actually see them a little better on that side. So it's going to go right the corner of the ticket, come down here, and go to there. So I will do that to each of these. And then I think I'll stitch them, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how I've stitched them, because it will take a little bit longer to stitch them. And I'm just going to use just random thread. So I shall be back when I'm done that part. See you in a few seconds. Okay, I'm back with the six finished project things, and I really like how they turned out. So let's take a peek at them. I added some different things to them just to see what they looked like, etc. So this one I added in 3 brads, and I did the stitching. I wish I would have spaced the brads a little further, but they do look fine. And I have done projects similar to this. So, but you just glue them on your page and you're done. This one I added 3 little pieces of bling. And of course the stitching. I hope it's focusing when I hold it closer. And this one here has 2 little buttons. This one I added on a bigger butterfly. It's a wooden button. Thought it had a little more room to add something a little bigger. This one I had some butterfly brads, so I put one on there. So I'm going to do a whole big batch of these for myself. While I was stitching them, I was curious on how long it took me to do this much stitching. So it's about 3 inches, I guess. So I set my timer on my phone, and it was a little bit under 4 minutes to stitch this. So I figure 5 minutes tops for punching the holes and doing the stitching and whatnot. So I actually thought that was actually pretty good time-wise. This one I put a little button right there that I stitched on. So yeah, these are really cute. As I say, you just glue them onto a page and you're done. So, and you could put a paper clip on the back, turn them into a paper clip, very easy. So I'm going to do up a whole bunch to this stage. I left all my threads on. I can cut them off as I'm using them, depending on if I want the threads or not. So a great way to use up all kinds of scraps. You could use anything in the middle that you wanted. Postage stamps, little bits and pieces from a page, die cuts even, little cutouts, like a little bird cutout, flower cutout, stickers, all kinds of goodies. So I hope you like these, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.